Okay, thank you. Well, I'm not going to take any lessons on scrutiny from you guys. You are just not enjoying being in opposition. This is what opposition is, unfortunately. When we were in opposition, we constantly were trying to... Excuse me, I can't even talk. When we were in opposition, when I was on children's services, I wanted to scrutinise the budget. I was told, no, it goes to finance. I was on finance committee. I was told, no, it goes to children's. So this is the problem that you've encountered as well, isn't it? Except that at our last finance committee, you had 15-20 minutes to talk about the issue that bothered you. You had Mrs. Merry talking in detail about the issue that bothered you. I will talk about SO823As when I was on the Environment Committee, or it wasn't called that then, but then we let an enormous contract for our leisure services, a multi-million-pound contract for leisure services by SO83A. The opposition asked to see the tender specification, we weren't allowed to. We asked to see the scoring, we weren't allowed to. We asked to see the contract, we weren't allowed to. That's not scrutiny. We were not allowed to scrutinise. When I was on the Finance Committee in order to scrutinise the West, the environmental sustainability strategy, the one time in the year we were allowed to scrutinise it. It's a huge piece of work and a huge document. I spent all weekend preparing for that meeting. I was allowed 10 minutes of scrutiny. So do not talk to me about scrutiny. You think that's not good enough? I have offered for Councillor Cook to have a briefing with me on the procurement. Councillor Cook, your speaker, is invited and welcome with me to when we get the briefing. I have not had the briefing yet.
Let Councillor Gasser make a statement, please.
There is not time because we have known for a long time we have to procure these vehicles. We have known that for a long time because you did not buy new vehicles when you should have done in 2020. So they keep breaking down. So we have been discussing this for a long time, but we couldn't put any propositions forward because your government hasn't told us what the regulations are going to be. We don't know what we have to procure yet. So we're leaving it until the last possible minute. We're expecting an announcement in March. We're hoping for an announcement in March so we know what to procure. If we don't get that, we will have to procure very expensive multi-use vehicles. We don't want to have to do that. But there isn't time. It takes...
National Women's Day, for God's sake, have some respect.
Mr. Mayor.
Please let Councillor Gasser complete. No. Please stop interrupting.
This is not a good example of governance and scrutiny, is it? I'm trying to give you a proper explanation of the sequence of events. It takes approximately a year for the vehicles to be made. We are going to have to procure one way or the other, leasing or buying or whatever. It's about a year. So my advice from the officers is we need to get on with it now. Unfortunately, because of the way you run the committee system, there isn't a committee in time. But I have nothing to hide. I have offered Councillor Cook to come to the briefing with me. We can look at the pros and cons together. There's nothing to hide. It's not even a political decision to buy lorries. It's an operational decision that we need to make as soon as we possibly can. And I wish your government would get on and give us the regulations so we know what to procure.